For large-scale operations, this can easily total in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. New lighting, HVAC, dehumidifiers, heat curtains, controllers not only can cost a fortune, but are expensive to operate. This is just the unfortunate reality of running a grow facility, but not anymore. If you've heard of a company called Green Rebates, then you already know what I'm talking about. Green Rebates changed the entire indoor cultivation industry seemingly overnight. They are the leading rebate and incentive management company in the US, and their sole purpose is to get you paid for the purchase of new grow equipment. Not a loan, real cash paid to growers. To date, Green Rebates has put more than $75 million back in the pockets of growers all across the nation. It doesn't matter if you've just purchased new equipment, are planning an expansion, opening a new facility, or maybe even just waiting for the economy to turn around before making any purchasing decisions. If you're a grower, you need to call the team at Green Rebates. They run an in-depth review of your facility to find all applicable equipment and energy rebates, and can connect you with every leading product manufacturer to find the right fit for your needs. Then they show up with a check. It won't cost you anything to find out how much money is being left on the table. Money that you can use to grow your business. Call Green Rebates, tell them you heard about them on the Cannabis and Tech Today podcast, and get ready to get paid. Welcome to a special MJ BizCon edition of Cannabis Tech Talks, sponsored by Green Rebates. I am here today with the one and only Big Mike. Great to have you.
Glad to be here, Aaron.
So, let's start by just telling us a little bit about your company and
Sure.
what you do and how you've been finding MJ BizCon so far.
Founder and CEO of Advanced Nutrients. We've been in the business of fertilizers, biostimulants, and biologicals, specifically for cannabis, for the last 26 years. And I've been a grower of cannabis since I've been 23, so that's 42 years in this beautiful blue planet growing killer cannabis.
That's awesome.
The fire, as they say. Yeah.
Yeah, so can you tell me a bit about your journey in growing and how it started and how you got to the level that you are today?
And so I had a lawn care company called Turf Pro when I was 19 years old, and I had these two salesmen working for me, Tony and Donnie, great salesmen, and they would just go, boy, in this room we could probably make like $100,000. I go, okay, well, tell me. They go, no, you're not ready. Okay, whatever. Wow, we could make $300,000 in this room. And they just went on for 6 months. They were kind of feeling me out. And they knew I understood plants, and I knew how to mix chemicals and fertilizer. I grew up I was a country kid, worked on farms and all that stuff. And one day they took me down to this basement. They opened up, you gotta remember, this is 1983. There isn't a lot of books, there's no internet, there's none of that. They got these 6 legs hanging, these plants growing, and they said, well, listen, we heard about this thing called a clone. And do you think you could figure that out? I said, okay, maybe. Well, tell me what about, like, well, you take part of a plant and you take it and you dip it in some hormones. And so I went to the reference library and I started studying, and I found a thing called the floating broth method. And basically, you take hormones, IBA and some other hormones, and you mix it in a water solution. You take a piece of styrofoam, put a hole in it, you put the stalk of the plant through there, and it just floats around in this, that's what we call it, the floating broth method. And the plants took, and they go, okay, we want to make you a partner. And it was funny though, when they're saying like 100,000, 300,000, I go, this sounds like something illegal. They go, yeah, it is. And sure enough, it was. And that's how I got started. I had my first 12 light grow, had HPS down the middle, and on both sides I had metal halides. It was 12 1,000 waters. It was true hydroponic. We had volcanic rock. We put some volcanic rock in the bottom and pea gravel. Had drain holes, elevated the thing, and had to figure out this whole intricate way of doing it. And killed the first crop because we didn't understand BTUs and heat. And so it came back the next day, and they're all dead. And so then we did it again, and we had sativas mixed with indicas, and We didn't know, and then finally the third time it was magic, and we actually made money. And during this time I had different stores. I had some silk plant stores. I had some T-shirt shops, different business, lawn care business. But then all of a sudden, the cannabis business made way more money than all the other businesses I had. So I just took on that path. Then I noticed there was no specific nutrients for cannabis. There's a few other growers I know. I go, you ever wonder if this stuff is actually for cannabis or is it some kind of hooey in a bottle? They go, yeah, we've been thinking the same thing. And so I went on a journey, started studying cannabis and plants, and went up to Canada where it was cancer patients could grow their own up there. And so, but they were in no shape to grow, so we put our own growers in there. We collected the data. We took the samples of the plants. We worked with UBC University and BCIT universities right away, because science is the truth, and you find out the answers. Science reveals the truth. And started taking tissue samples of roots, stalks, stems, leaves, buds, and every single week of veg and bloom, multiple strains. And from that data, we were able to come out with our first versions of products specifically for cannabis, and changed the way that all cultivators grow cannabis today. It started with advanced nutrients. We weren't afraid. We've really pushed hard for the legalization of cannabis. We understood that one day it was going to be legal, and then I went to this thing called the Plant Growth Regulation Society of America. I found this organization where 150 of the top plant scientists in the world meet every single year. It's since been disbanded, but you had guys there from Syngenta, Cargill, Texas A&M, Max Planck Institute, like literally Japan, Korea, from all around the world. Israel, the smartest scientists were there. And I kind of forged a badge, and one guy comes up to me and goes, "I haven't seen you here before. Who are you?" I said, "Hey, I'm busted. I just tell them the truth, right? See what happens." And I just told him my name. I'm Michael Straumietis, and I own a company called Advanced Nutrients, and we're all about researching cannabis and plants. And he held his hand out and goes, "Welcome." He goes, "To us, cannabis is just another plant." I was the only non-PhD in the room. I hung out with those guys for years, made relationships, talked to them, found out that a lot of these scientists had side projects. They said, well, we have to hit a certain price point for big ag, but we have a lot of ideas and stuff, and so we'd like to show those to you. And so some worked, some didn't. And the ones that worked, and through iterations became, and they're not necessarily plant growth regulators, but there's certain things like kelp and algae, alfalfa, that have phytohormones in there that cannabis responds to. And if you know how to standardize those and mix those, plus vitamins and other substances that open up different pathways and gateways. And so slowly through the evolution, we had first evolution, second evolution. By 2003, we had our third evolution. And Dr. Elsa Holy from the University of Mississippi called, and he goes, "Hey, we'd like to try your stuff." I said, "Sure, here, we'll send you some." And they had put together their own team of PhDs and agronomists, and they kind of figured out what they thought was best. But when they tried ours, we raised their THC by 41%, CBD by 55%, seed production by 29%, and biomass by 21%. This is our third gen. We're now launching our eighth gen, first quarter 2025. And it's a totally different beast than anything that we've ever done. We've figured out different pathways to open up in the plant, and to basically, doesn't matter what stage the plant's development is, we're in control of that, and we amplify it. And that is the journey. And then we went to, we had a license, one of 3 licenses in the world, to actually study cannabis during the dark ages. There was GW in the UK, Tikkun Olam in Israel, and then we had that in Bulgaria. We worked with the Technical University of Sofia, a bunch of undergrads, PhDs working, really figured out a lot of stuff there, and then came back to America because of what was happening in California, and then got a team of scientists together. We have labs in Denver and Fort Collins now with a really great R&D team, that R&D team, they're really super smart. And they put together this 8th gen that we're launching now. It took us 3 years to develop it, and probably about $3 or $4 million. But there's nothing like it. It's a game changer for our entire industry. We've always been the leader in science and innovation when it comes to products that grow cannabis, and that's what we do. And people think that it's all about salts now, and salts are great, but salts have a ceiling. Our competitor salts, their ceiling might be here. Advanced ceiling is here, but even advanced, we still have a ceiling. You have to come in with biostimulants in different phases of the plant's development to open up different pathways and to get the plant to do different things and to maximize the quality. And by the way, quality matters in every market category. I don't care if you look at cars, boats, purses, shoes. There's good, better, and best. I talk to a lot of the C-level, and they look at the numbers and they don't actually really understand that quality matters, and they don't really understand a lot of the marketplace because they're the back office. I get it, but they need to get out in the every one of these C-levels should go into the trenches deep, and understand what's really going on. Some do, some don't, but they think it's all about price. No, quality does matter today, and the guys who produce quality, they say, well, people, when I was talking to one guy and he says, oh, we're selling $8 eighths, and people don't care about quality. That's because once you hit quality and they know you'll get that recurring revenue and they're going to come back. And yeah, the market's tough right now because the economy's tough. But as that changes, there'll be more cash coming in, and quality will matter. And it's not just quality, it's the outcome. How does it make it feel? I believe that the future of cannabis is going to be outcomes. And you see some companies doing that. I got into the space with Big Mike's blends. I pulled out because the margins were so small, but we had 7 different outcomes. So you can by blending cannabis, you can get a very specific outcome that you're looking for. So
Right.
That's kind of where we're at, what we're doing, and now we're in genetics. We acquired Tesoro Genetics, and what a difference. We got JJ Keating, he's the head of our R&D team, a genetics guy, and paid a lot of money for Tesoro, and people go, why'd you pay so much? I go, JJ. And what a difference it made. So now we're in genetics, and I say it's like peanut butter and jelly, genetics and fertilizer.
Yeah, the two work synergistically together. So can you tell me a bit about the 8th gen version of your product and what makes it different from previous versions?
Well, if you see every system on here now is a 3-bag system, right? You got your grow, base, and bloom. This is a 2-bag system. We got push and prime, and that's all you use, and you manipulate that by different ratios. So it makes it even easier. And then we've got a whole new line of products, Bigger Bugs, LXR, SB1, and each one has specific molecules and things in there to move the plant along through its journey. And we have a total of 7 different products. And so got a teaser up on the wall there. The first quarter of 2025, we will start launching it. It is already in commercial facilities that have allowed us to test, and they're just like, wow. The terp production, the plants grow faster. Instead of being able to turn 5 to 5.5 turns a year, guys will can go up to 6 turns now. You got shorter veg time as the plant grows faster in veg. Proportionately, it's not like you're hitting it with a gibberella and you're getting internodal stretch. No, it stays proportionate and it's growing faster. The stalks are thicker, stronger. Why? Because we understand that the plant can sense how much weight it can put on by how strong it is. The plants understand this, and plants are actually amazing. There's a lot of similarities between humans and plants in a lot of different ways. They respond to different vitamins and different kinds of, like supplements that we take actually work on cannabis as well. Not all, but some of them. So it's an amazing, very complicated plant. And the biggest thing that we need now, and so we got together with Jack Whipple, and so Jack and I are partners in the CCI Black Book, and we're making a platform for educating the next generation of cultivators and the current cultivators. What we realized is the biggest pain point is the cultivators, and they need knowledge, and they want to learn, and so we want to provide that platform. Our industry is going through an evolution. The investors, the suits as they call them, the money guys, and the cultivators, I see in a lot of places, are at loggerheads. They jam. And what they don't, both of them have to understand, first of all, they all need to work together. And if they work together, it becomes magic. And so we want to see that happen. We want to see better quality cultivators up their game, not only in the facility, but also upstairs. And so there's a training that we put our entire sales crew through, and middle management and upper management. And it's called I Am Leader by Chris Collins. He's out of LA. He's got a book, he's got a 2-set book, and then he also has a seminar that you can go to. That seminar changed the lives of everybody, because they talk about things that were never taught to us as children in our school system, which should. And I'll tell you some stories. So a couple of our guys and gals that went to it, one guy said that he went home and he apologized to his wife after the first day of the seminar, and the relationship became stronger. Another gal got remarried to her husband and realized the things that she was doing that was good for interpersonal relationship that didn't move them forward. And I've had multiple people say after the training they literally had to pull over on the side of the road, sit down for hours or a day and process the information and think about, wow. And so this is a great course. It builds their self-esteem. The problem with growers is, and this is my own personal journey, I'll tell you from my standpoint, we become hyper-independent. We grow up in families where there are no boundaries. They pretty well let us run wild, and our parents really didn't. And our parents don't know. No one hands your parents a handbook and go, here's how to program the quantum computer that you just created. And so I was hyper-independent, didn't trust a lot of folks because you grow in cannabis and you're very secretive, so you don't interact with this society the same way that other folks do. And it kind of, I felt like I was part of the world, but not part of the world. I'm growing cannabis. I didn't have to be part of the system. I wasn't bound by the rules of everyone else. And so, I got defensive when I got criticism rather than just understanding it's just information, it's just feedback. And so Chris's course, what it does, it puts a new architecture, literally puts a new architecture in your brain. He worked with teams and teams of scientists, actually psychologists, and to put together this training where it takes people through the course step by step by step, and it puts a different architecture and actually rewires your brain. And every single team member who's gone through their lives have improved. Every single company he's gone into and done that has increased their revenue by 200 to 400%. I believe that every single person who came out of traditional market should get Chris's book. It's called I Am Leader, and they should go to the seminar. And it is a life-changing, it's 2 days now, he's probably gonna make it 3, because the first day is pretty heavy, and it's a game changer. And you'll see more harmony between management and cultivators. Cultivators always like to think, well, okay, here's a recipe, but you know what? I know plants. I'm going to tweak it this way, tweak it that way. And you think about it, because during the dark ages, the traditional thing, when I was growing cannabis, I felt like I had a superpower that no one else had. It's like I was this mad scientist in a basement, and I was special because I could grow a plant, not outdoors, indoors under artificial light, and I had this magic that no one else had. And now it's changed. It's gone mainstream. And so now you have to interact with mainstream folks who have gone through a different process than we had, different childhood. And that's it. There's something called high performance trauma. And most of our folks that I run into here have high performance trauma. And that's basically where your parents praise you for good, but and only for good. And so what it ends up doing is it ends up fractionating the brain. It's like crazy here, then you get no attention down here. And then there's no boundaries, they're not paying attention to you. This is my story. And then, what happens is you get a chip on your shoulder. Now, that chip, if harnessed correctly, can build an empire. That's what I built Advanced Nutrients. I had a chip on my shoulder. And then you figure all that stuff out. And the good thing is, you see gold medal athletes, entrepreneurs, surgeons, lawyers, a lot of them come out of high performance trauma. And so what happens is you just keep accelerating and you don't stop working. You're wired to work till the day you die. When a person has a fairly normal childhood, by the way, that normal child is far and few between. You straight line here, nice and easy. About 55 years old, you just drop off and go into retirement, and that's it. Where the high performance child just keeps earning and innovating. And so there are benefits. The thing is, if you're raising a child, it's like, how can you give them just enough high performance trauma that you don't wreck their lives, and they get that motivation, and they're still healthy. And so for me, most people, if they're ever going to turn the corner and become self-aware, so all this thing that you do makes you become self-aware, self-reflective. And when you do that, your whole life changes. And for men, usually, if it's going to happen, it will happen in the 50s and 60s. Sometimes it happens in the 30s and 40s. And it's usually with some kind of earth-shattering event that shakes you. And instead of making excuses, which is external locus of control, you then look into your inward, and that's internal locus of control, and go, okay, I made these choices and decisions. How can I change and be able to make better decisions and understand things and go into places and get comfortable being uncomfortable. Every time now I'm in a comfortable position, I'm like, yes, today I am learning. Today I'm giving a small win for my self-esteem. And then something about the subconscious brain. Your subconscious brain has something called cognitive dissonance. It won't let you go back into a place where you hurt yourself unless it believes that you've shown it enough that will open the way. It'll make all kinds of excuses. It'll give you resistance. It'll make you have a negative excuse. Anything that it can do to get you away from that potential pain. And so you have to kind of prove to yourself that you can handle it. That comes with small, manufactured, incremental wins that you can do yourself. And you can do that by just stepping into discomfort. No one's going to bite you. No one's going to hurt you. No one's going to put you in jail now. You're safe.
Yeah, great points. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's
great
what
points.
I see. And so now we're doing the CCI Black Book. Everyone should get it and read it. It's a great book. It talks how to grow craft cannabis at scale, 3 to 4 pounds of light, whether it's LEDs or HPS. And now there's we have a learning management system, and we're getting that developed. I'd like to see that come out again first quarter of 2025, and it'll be a curriculum that you can put your cultivators through, they can learn. There's tests along the way. Now, if you're an owner, a business owner, a guy says, I'm a master cultivator, there's a test that we've already created, and we have multiple versions of this test. And so, you know how things get out, and people know the answers. They won't happen here. And you can give a person a test online, and it will rank them and tell where their strengths and weaknesses are, and give them a score, and you know what kind of a cultivator you have. And if you see, okay, there's the weaknesses here, go through the training, look at this chapter, that chapter, fill in your gaps of knowledge and make yourself a better human and add value to the facility. One of the other things I see cultivators and folks who work in these facilities putting themselves first and not the company first. And they have to realize this man or woman is paying you. You must put that business first and put your personal biases or whatever you want to the side. And those are the kind of guys and gals you want to hire. The people that will put the company first and not themselves. And so when you find a team of people like that, and you get a core of really smart people, 5 people around you that are like that, you can conquer anything. If you don't, you will end up self-sabotaging yourself. All kinds of things will go over. Your life will become much more difficult. After Chris's training, my life became easier, a lot easier. And I worked with some some high performance coaches as well that came out of the intelligence community that actually came in and rewired your brain. So I'll give you an example of one of the things that I was taught. So the guy asked me, he goes, would you go ask anyone for help? Because I'm hyper independent from the past. No. I goes, okay. If one of your neighbors came and asked you for help, would you do it? I said, sure, I'd love to help him. Okay. He goes, how does it make you feel? I said, I feel good. Okay. I got a question for you, Mike. Why are you denying your neighbor feeling good? I went, holy shit. That's right. Good humans like to help humans. We're social creatures. You don't have to have that hyper-independence. And by that hyper-independence, you don't develop interpersonal skills, which are very important, especially in today's day and age with the way that we're going and the corporate integration of cannabis. It's not going to stop.
Yeah, so lessons for cultivation and lessons for life.
Yeah, both. It matters. And all that stuff will go over into your personal life. You'll have a better relationship with the women in your life, your kids, everything happens better. So what are we also about? Psychology. I'm talking psychology with you right now. And that's important. I would love to see these folks, great people, just have a better quality of life and their journey will get better.
Absolutely. That's what we all strive for.
It is. It's about the journey. The journey's fun.
Well, where can we find you, Big Mike?
Man, you can just on Instagram. You go to Big Mike. That's it. It's not verified. Big Mike. You can go to advancednutrients.com. Everyone should look up Chris Collins. I Am Leader. It helped our company, helped myself greatly, and that's it. That's where you can find us. advancednutrients.com. And also Big Mike on Instagram. And you can enter into our world of education and fun.
Absolutely.
And of course, CCI Black Book too. Look up the CCI Black Book. And you can go and, we have fast delivery. We have it in multiple languages. It's in German now. We wrote it in Bulgarian as well. And Spanish version is coming out. And, of course, the English version is rocking the house. Yeah.
I'm excited to check it out, and I encourage everybody else to as well. Thank you so much, Big Mike.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, great to meet you.
Great to meet you.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to another episode of Cannabis Tech Talks presented by Green Rebates. We'll see you next time.
In the world of infused edibles, gummies rule. But let's be real, not all gummies are created equal. If you're looking to make truly tasty infused gummies, Melt2Make can help. Melt2Make is committed to making gummy production simple, efficient, and all-natural, offering gelatin, pectin, and sugar-free pectin gummy bases in a range of flavors. They provide step-by-step instructions, equipment lists, and dosing calculators, so whether you're established in the market or you're just getting started, Melt2Make is the perfect gummy manufacturing solution. To learn more, visit us at melt2make.com.